Hey guys, this is MPig. I'm sorry for the temporary hiatus. What ended up happening is that, I got lazy and I didn't want to do YouTube updates anymore. It happens every so often. You sort of get burnt out and you're like, YouTube, whatever. But now I'm back and with a vengeance. And hopefully, along with this update, there will also be a couple more parts in the upcoming saga, which is me talking with Brett, which should have been completed about a week ago. But yeah, things get out of hand sometimes. And today I wanted to talk about something that concerns me a bit. Well, it doesn't concern me. It's more of a minor irritants. And I love talking about minor irritants because there's something that you can go on and on about with no general direction. And I'm in a free flow mood. It's coming out my ears practically. I could just start talking about just anything. There's a thing going on, and it's a sort of awareness thing going on my campus, and it's basically a lot of these little posters are being strung about, and they're pretty much PSAs, all the way down to pretty much drug PSAs, gay rights PSAs, AIDS PSAs, so on and so forth. You're walking around campus, and then, I'm a normal kind of guy. I'm open and to a lot of things, not everything, but I certainly don't think of myself as narrow-minded. But am I the only one who is somewhat insulted when you're practically walking down the street and you see a billboard for some sort of you cannot judge a man by his sexuality, a public service announcement brought to you by the PSA Association of Crappy PSAs. And you're looking at it going, okay, I can understand the message, because the message makes sense. But do we really need it hammered in that thickly? For one thing, the people who are already bigoted, who already judge people for their sex, for their gender, for their race, for their whatever, are not going to be affected by your fucking billboards. They're not. They're going to be looking up at the billboard and going, oh, wow, that's preachy. Yeah, that's exactly what they're thinking, because that's exactly what I'm thinking, too. It's a nice message to send out there, and I'm sure people feel good when they're writing those sorts of PSA posters going, oh, yeah, we're going to make people really think. When most of the time, no, you're not making people think. You're preaching. You are preaching to the choir most of the time. Because somebody who agrees with you is going to go, here, you can't judge somebody by their sexual orientation. Well, somebody who's already biased is going to be like, there's those people again trying to get me to think something that I don't believe in. Well, to hell with you. That's exactly what you're doing. And let's not even get started on the... There was a number of these. And when you're in the lobby, not the lobby, the cafeteria. I don't know how I got lobby and cafeteria mixed up. But anyways, I'm sitting here chewing down on my burger, which is always nasty. It tastes like some kind of sponge with... Ew. The burgers literally do taste like sponges, like something somebody would have taken out of your sink, put water on it so it gets all spongy and you're biting into it and it's all nasty. The cafeteria food, they should make a PSA about that. Cafeteria food sucks, don't eat it. So I'm sitting here looking up at MTVU, which is what they play in constant loop, and there's this drug PSA. And it's quite literally like, yeah, just talk to your friends about his drug problem. Yeah, it'll work out okay. The thing with this is, and this is the honest truth, these drug PSAs always seem to be overdramatic to the point where it's like Days of Our Lives. You're watching it going, this is freaking ridiculous, man. This isn't realistic. This isn't the real world. Why not actually get some actors who can really act and get a decent script in there and base it somewhat in reality rather than having it be sort of like a superhero moment of confrontation where you're like, yo, dude, I understand your problem. Oh, since you understand my problem, that makes me want to open up to you more. Bullshit. Okay, when you're dealing with addicts, just in general, in real life, that's not how an addict acts like. Unless you're dealing with a very minor case, in which case, who knows what could happen. It's variable depending on person to person. Sometimes opening up and saying, yo man, I understand your problem is the wrong thing to do. I'm sorry, I've dealt with people like this before in my life. I've talked to people, and usually you saying, I understand your problem, isn't going to do crap to affect their decision. Sure, it may make you feel better, and I suppose it might make people feel better making a PSA saying, you should really talk to your friends about their drug problem. Man, if your friend has a drug problem, and you're not of the druggy orientation in general, you should probably just tell them, hey man, the fact that you're stoned all the time kind of makes me not want to hang out with you. So, yeah, maybe I'm not going to hang out with you. until they threaten you with suicide, in which case there's probably another PSA for that in general. One of the ones that really strikes me is that there's this poster, and it's whenever I'm looking to getting a tutoring appointment, there's usually one on the side, and it's like, gender is not something that you can. There's gender and sex, and it's explaining the difference between somebody's gender and somebody's sexuality. Somebody's gender is what they're born with. Their sexuality is their identity. And I'm sort of sitting there going, ugh, that kind of stuff bugs me. It's not that I don't agree with it. It's just the sort of things that get on the back of your hairs and just make them stand up and go, the world isn't a perfect place. You're not going to make it a perfect place by making stupid-ass posters. This is MPig, and I am signing out. I'm glad that I just got to have this fun little rant because I hate PSAs. If you have a child and you want to teach them a particular viewpoint on life, you teach them that the particular viewpoint on life. It isn't PSAs or little public service announcements that really make a difference in people's lives. I really don't feel that's the case. I feel that it's people that make a difference in people's lives. If you're hanging out with people that give a good influence to you, friends or family or wives or loved ones, that's going to affect who you are and how you act as a person. I don't think a public service announcement saying, yo, don't do drugs, is really going to stop somebody from doing drugs. And for the rest of us, it's just annoying and frequently hilarious, and I probably shouldn't even be complaining about it, but there's my take.